pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, welcome to meeting of the Stamford Planning Commission. If you have a matter to discuss that is not included on the agenda, you may do so by addressing the chairperson, stating your name. You'll notice all of our meetings are recorded. This is to aid with the summarization of the minutes and are available to view on YouTube. Visitors are allowed 5 minutes per comment and 15 minutes per topic. Planning Commission members present are
Pam Torrey,
Lisa Gramlin.
Marta Miller,
Deb Burchard.
Alden Finney.
Will there be any addition or subtraction of items from the agenda? I would like to add on the attendance policy just to review it because we changed when we meet.
Sure.
And I'd like to move the bylaw discussion to the very end.
Great.
Okay, hearing of visitors. Okay. Reading and approval of records from June 8th.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay,
I
I just,
had to correct.
yeah,
Oh,
go ahead. Deb.
number 6, duplicated.
Oh, I didn't see that.
But just, it has to be renumbered.
Oh, right, I did know about
There were
that.
Right.
2 6s.
That's
Renumbered
true.
it. That was,
Claude made a mistake.
no, I did, because I moved the numbers and I didn't do it right. Because I added stuff in the beginning, because Pam wasn't out recording at that time, so I wrote the first part. I also want to just check Nick Ziak, is not Nick Zak in there, Z-A-K, but it's Z-A-I-A-C, and it's pronounced Ziax. for anyone.
Z-I-A.
Z-A-I-A-C. So it looks like Ziak, but it's one C. Z-A-I-A. Okay. So we had a motion with changes from Marta. Any second?
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business. I just wanted to add that maybe we could put a sign at the dump or on the school about the survey, because I've been putting it on the Facebook page, but not everyone's on Facebook, so maybe we could do that.
That's a good idea.
Do we have any idea how many responses we've gotten?
It was only 10, but that was 2 weeks ago. I haven't checked with her since.
10?
So,
That was the online responses too. I didn't.
Well, I asked, when I was down
That was
here
online, sorry.
for something, I asked Lori, and she said yes, that they'd gotten a bunch
good.
in the box.
oh, good.
So,
No
yeah,
number though, right?
she didn't have a number.
Right. And it is July 10th. We were right about that date.
July 10th.
Yeah.
That should also just be in our minutes, that reminder that July 10th is the
Can you put that in?
closing date for the survey.
Sounds good, but we really want to push that so we can get as much information as possible. I'll put it on Facebook again. Does anyone want to put it on the sign on the school? All right, I'll put a sign on the school.
No, I'm sorry, I was writing down.
Oh,
I'll make one for the dump
Okay.
if you want.
thanks, Phil. All right, new business.
Oh, real quick, is
Sure.
there a form, like, or just like, okay.
Okay. If you could make it a little bigger, Deb, though, you know what I mean? Do you know how to do that?
So,
If you, I can do it if you want, but you should make it so it prints on like 4 pages and then you tape them together.
I'll figure that out.
Yeah.
That's why I have Nick.
Yeah, so just so it's bigger so people see it at the top.
Between the mechanics and the graphic artists at your
You can do it.
fingertips,
He'll do
you
it.
really have resources.
He'll do it, yeah.
Okay, new business. I attended the VLCT Spring Planning and Zoning meeting. Main thing I wanted to let the board know is about the next grant coming up. The due date is September 1st with a closing date of 11/2. So we have 2 months to do that. Last time the odds were 50-50, if you remember, for us getting the grant.
And this is for the bylaws.
For the bylaw grant, if we could go for that. So I say that we definitely need to do our own bylaw work I'd say we're gonna probably have a 50% chance shot at that again. The odds are, they do give preference to small towns of our size, but they also give preference if we already have an open grant like we do. If another town's applying and they don't have one, they will get it over us. So that, like, those ones that you're not favoring, ones not.
So that's the town plan one.
Mhm. So I think that like makes us even again.
And it would be Nick that would be working with us as opposed to Hallie.
Why would it be Nick? I'm not sure.
I think that's what he said.
Oh, for the bylaw.
I
one?
thought-
For the bylaws,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Would he help us with the grant application?
Maybe,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Do you want me to ask him?
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great. We do have till September, but it can't hurt to find out.
September's right around the corner.
I know. Trees are already starting to turn.
Really?
Just the sick ones.
Okay, the other thing is, that was in that meeting was about the housing targets from the Home Act. When we do our town plan, I think I have to yell, Maureen.
Yeah.
We do our town plan, we can include what barriers we would have to making the goals that will be set for us for the Home Act, our goals of how much housing we have to provide for. Such limitations could be environmental, enhanced flood restrictions, stuff like that. So we want to keep that in mind as we do the town plan. We may have reasoning why we can't meet the target goals that the CRC / the state is putting on us.
Well, and also no town water and no town sewer.
Right.
I mean, those
Yeah.
are the most obvious ones.
Yeah.
Do you not have a memory of the number that they were asking us to?
No. I need to find that out.
What was the number?
Do we know what our target is for
Our
town?
target number, there was a number.
Target for housing?
Yes, how many houses we're supposed to come up with.
Really?
Which, I mean, I'm like, what,
Did they come up with a
who,
number already?
where? There was a number in one of the,
There was.
one of the numbers.
I think they must
In one of
be
the,
just somehow
pulling
coming
it
up
out
with
of thin
some-
air.
I don't.
I mean, what would they base it on?
That's my question. It's like,
It's not
it would
like
be
we
one
have
thing
They're
if we
industry
probably
here.
they're probably basing it on, the number of acres in town and, how much housing does the entire state need and breaking it up into towns and, Stamford's fair share is,
But we don't have to comply with that.
We kind of do unless we can provide a reasoning why we cannot make that goal.
well, okay, well. What do you mean we kind of do? Are they gonna come down here and put a gun to our head and say build houses? I mean, how do they,
enforce.
Right.
how do they force people to build homes
Yeah.
in,
Well, with the
The town.
expectation is there for us.
But if there is no incentive, we don't have an incentive for people to move to Stamford. We're not in close proximity to Bennington or Brattleboro.
well, I mean, I think people would be happy to move here and would be happy to live here as we see with every single time a house goes on sale, it's gone like that, and there's way more people that want to live here than there are houses available. But that doesn't mean that there are people who have the ability to buy the land and build the house. And we have no control over that.
Yeah, it'd be
I
one
mean,
thing
as
if
long
the
as we're
state
not
owned.
stopping them.
Right.
I think they can say, well, you can't stop people from building homes, but we're not doing that.
Right.
People can build here, but they have to be able to buy the land and afford to build.
Which is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's,
Yeah.
you can buy a house at $200 a square foot and it's gonna cost you $450 to build.
Oh,
At
that's
the
a
minimum.
question, okay.
That's
Yeah.
the issue. That's why there's no building going on, because it's so incredibly expensive to build.
Interesting. All right.
My guess is that they're posturing that we have to do this, but
Yeah,
I don't see
yeah.
that there's any mechanism. As you say,
That's
there's no
true.
financial incentive. It's not as if the state owns land and is saying,
we want you to put a
Well, yeah,
house
they
on
can't-
this.
I don't think they can technically
I
make
don't
us.
think, I don't
Well,
know
they
how
can
they would.
open up some of their state forest.
Oh,
I mean, I think everyone knows that we need more housing. We need more housing everywhere, but that doesn't mean that we're going to get it.
Right.
It's just not that simple.
Let me ask, does Stamford really need more housing, or is it to feed
Well,
North Adams
well,
or
it's the feed
well,
or the
million.
second
I
home
mean,
market?
obviously, the
That's what
state-
I'm saying. We don't have anything here, so we don't need more housing.
Correct. I mean, we as a town.
We
in
as a
theory.
town.
The
Right.
state, in order to thrive, if people are just leaving.
Oh, no,
And you
I
don't have, I
understand
mean,
that.
in order to drive an economy and to thrive, you cannot have this, what's happening right now. You
But-
need
with
it,
everybody
but that
what
doesn't
they
mean
need-
it doesn't mean that it's beneficial to Stamford.
but I think what the state needs is not something we're going to be able to help out with. They need higher density homes. They need the infrastructure that will support that. I'm not saying, trust me, I know that's the only way we get taxes, so, or we have revenue is through property taxes. So in a sense, yeah, it'd be great if we had more. I just don't think it's the same thing as the state is thinking of.
Right.
I mean, it'd be great if we could build a condominium complex. Imagine.
Would it?
No, it wouldn't.
Well,
Condominiums, not apartments.
Well,
Yeah.
and it depends on where you're talking about, because if you talk about development, so there's a difference between developing all along the state maintained highway and developing up in the mountains where now we have to maintain the roads
Right.
and it costs us an absolute fortune. I mean, those are two totally different things.
So,
Hence, essentially, the whole village center designation around a state highway, and hence, the effort to conserve and not overdevelop in the spots where you'd have to be building these roads.
I mean, it makes sense if you want tax revenue and you have a state highway that we are not responsible for, then it makes sense to try to have that development occur along the state highway.
But you still got sewer and water.
Well, that's a
Exactly.
whole,
That's
that's a
That's
whole
the
different
next-
thing.
That's
a
what
whole
happened with
other
Reed's
But we're so small, we can't do anything.
Right.
I know they want that whole infill thing, but
That's not a good idea.
so what was your takeaway from?
just that, my takeaway was that as long as we provide while we're doing the town plan, our limitations to growth.
Mhm.
What we perceive as our limitations. Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, that's good. That's important to know that we need to build that in.
Yeah.
In zoning too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got, except that we can't limit people to under 12 chickens.
What?
That's the new rule. You
What?
have
What
to
is-
allow 12 chickens. You
But
don't have
up
to allow
to-
roosters. Yeah.
Wait, up to 12 chickens are
Breaking news.
permissible,
Roosters don't count.
but no roosters are permissible?
You don't have to allow roosters.
We don't
And this
have
is a
to.
state thing?
Yeah, they expanded chickens.
You can have all the roosters you want, though, because of that chicken.
No, unless our town says no roosters.
Which, for some people, I guess, could be a noise.
That would be awful.
Oh my gosh,
What
when
if
we
they
had our
identify
rooster,
something else?
we loved Rudy, but he just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah,
Rudy the rooster.
Rudy the rooster. He was the nicest of all. We had 17 chickens, 16 chickens, and Rudy. He was the nicest, friendliest guy, but God, he's so loud.
Oh,
what was the previous
I
chicken
think it was,
limitation?
I believe it was 6, but don't hold me to
Well, it is a food source, so
it. It is.
I think it's good.
So you have to have a minimum of 6?
You don't, no, you just, the
We
town
can
can't, the town can't say you can't have, like, the town can't say you can only have 6, we have to allow 12. They can have, I guess, more if we say you can have 24.
Which is for places like Burlington or cities, I mean, that's
see
not,
that.
it's just
I'm
totally
just
not,
kinda tongue in cheek
not,
here.
it's not relevant.
I just wrote it down, so I thought it would be funny. All right, any other new business,
What about,
old business?
what about the Zoom meeting that, did you go to the Zoom meeting? I went to it.
I was
Aldi
there.
went to it. I saw he was on
Yeah, I
it.
was down.
Did you
I
go
did
to
go.
it too?
Yeah.
And did you guys look at the maps,
Yeah,
the wetland maps?
Sort of.
So I mean, I got on there
But-
during
I
the,
screenshotted everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
I
on
looked
there.
at, I couldn't go to that, but I did research it afterwards.
I mean, I went up and down the valley, and I mean, obviously I pay pretty close attention because I live on the river.
Yeah.
But I went up and down the valley, and for the most part, yes, they did add some wetlands where there were not wetlands before, and they did make some wetland areas bigger, but they also made some wetland areas smaller. And I didn't see, you know, like I said, I mean, I went up and down the valley, like looking for things. I didn't see anything that was just like, oh my God, you know, I didn't.
Well,
They
this-
added-
They're not done with their mapping anyway.
Well, I think
think
we're
it's
done.
I think,
I
it-
think
well, it's
we're-
still
I
in
think s-
draft stage. It's not,
Well,
Yeah.
oh,
Like, if you
because
go
there
on
used to, there's
A&R
still comments.
yeah, if you go on A&R wetlands map right now, you know, it's different from what we see as, you know, the conceptual draft. They added, so the A&R map, the normal one, or the current one, does not have anything on our property, which we know there are wetlands up there. Now they do. So I was asking Bruce, they never came up on the property, and he laughed at me. He goes, really? He says, they have, you know, the
Well-
thermal imaging that comes
Right.
down and just,
Someone asked that question during the meeting, and the thing is, and it makes total sense, that at certain times of the year, these indicator plant species are a certain color.
Yeah.
And they can tell
Yep.
by
it's
aerial
all LiDAR
photos
and,
that
yeah.
and the LiDAR too.
Mhm.
Is,
So it's amazing. I mean, you can't, I don't want to say you want to get away with anything,
There's
but
cameras everywhere
you can't.
for everything.
I mean,
Just in general.
it's,
but
They
I mean,
just
you know,
blanket the whole
they're
thing.
spot on
They're
on my
spot
property
on.
and,
Yep.
and near my property, cause I mean,
We
I
knew
know
where
the
they
area as
were,
well.
and now-
I-
there they are.
Wow.
Yeah, because, you know, I hike in the woods all the time, and
Mhm.
I know exactly where the water pools constantly.
So with the governor seems to be changing the buffer zone around
Yes.
wetlands. Is there
That is-
something?
So that, it just makes me so angry.
Yeah, me too.
Because if you have a wetland and you're trying to protect the wetland, and there's a reason to protect wetlands,
Right.
and the buffer was 50 feet, and now, because we want more housing, we're now going to make the buffer 25 feet. It's like, I
doesn't-
understand they want housing, but this whole idea of basically we're just gonna throw everything out because now housing is more important than
Right.
anything else, it's kind of crazy, you know?
Agreed. And also, I mean, Kurt has pointed out that things like rivers move over the years.
Yes.
So if you start chipping away
Right.
at the buffer zone, you're
It's-
asking for
I
trouble
mean, it's
in
ridiculous.
a state that has had increased flooding as we chop down trees. I mean, it's at cross purposes. So now my next question is, are we as a town allowed to ask for, I mean, just like setbacks, are we allowed to create
Oh,
a
more?
more of a buffer zone around wetlands?
I don't know.
You can.
I don't know if
You
that-
can't make a state law less, but you can strengthen it.
That's what
You
I
can
keep
most
hearing.
strengthen it, but in something like that,
I don't know.
I don't know.
And also,
I don't know.
How could we find out?
It's the same as overshadowing. You
Right.
can strengthen it by moving where
But
you,
sometimes the
by
state
putting a
wins.
setback for the septic system.
but there's also the thing to consider. Usually the way wetlands get protected is via Act 250, because that's when the big guns come in, and that's when all the people that this is what they do come in. If Stamford were to just try to do our own thing, I just don't see how we're going to enforce that, because who's the wetland person in town that's going to do the monitoring? Who's going to enforce that?
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, I just don't know that it's a
Right.
that it's a viable thing for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
problem is, so if you want to change it back to a 50-foot, I mean, if you're going up onto somebody's property, how do you know where that wetland actually stops?
You don't.
So what are you gonna get your tape out? It's
Right.
such a fluid
Yes.
boundary.
Yeah.
Literally,
Literally,
Fluid.
right.
yeah.
That's why 50 feet's better than 25.
Well,
Exactly.
I would agree.
Right
I
now
would
it
agree.
looks small because the water table's down.
Yes.
But in
Yeah.
Not
a
after,
Well,
heavy
you
rain
can-
year, it looks
not after
huge.
today.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can see the boundaries, even if the water has subsided, you'll still
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Scott's thing is like, it's only 0.15% of the land in Vermont is affected by making it, smaller, the boundary. But yet, if we keep it at 50, that's 35,000 houses. So like, which is which? Is it just a small amount of land or is it a
You
substantial?
can't get wetlands back once you.
Right,
Yeah,
they're gone.
Exactly.
The developer takes eons of time.
Exactly.
A house can burn down, be built back in no time.
And then
but
good luck
wetlands,
getting
once
flood
it's gone,
insurance.
it's gone.
Right.
If you make that boundary smaller and people start building there and then they find out they can't get flood insurance, I mean, it's just setting it up for disaster instead of,
I object personally to the state being so desperate to get housing that they're going to throw out the whole wetland thing, and more importantly, throwing out the buffers that we need, because we know that the flooding is going to increase, and that
Yes.
these areas are actually going to get larger. We actually want people building further away because they're going to get larger.
yes.
And so, yeah, I think the state's quest for more housing is really, really out of hand.
I mean, the other contributing factor is the increased logging in the forests. Because, I mean,
Well,
when Many Forks Farm, the people across the street cut down all their trees, the farm flooded because trees suck up the water and help
Absolutely.
manage the water table.
You ever see what they did up in Somerset?
No,
Take a ride to Somerset sometime.
okay.
What a
Mess.
disaster. You tell me that the state did that, and that's good logging, that's slap logging.
that's
Mm.
because it's a state.
Yeah.
It's okay
Yes.
for them.
Yeah.
The right
Right.
for you though.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not sure how we find out how to get our voice heard in that, or see if we could put something as a municipality in place. I doubt that we can also, but.
But
Well-
I just wish I knew who to ask. I mean, if someone says, nope, you can't do that, then
What about that, woman that came and talked to us?
the woman who came last,
I think
meeting?
Rebecca Chalmers is the wetlands person. I've spoken with her many times.
uh-huh,
I can check with her again.
uh-huh. Or the woman who came last week, what was her name? Not last week, last meeting. It's in the minutes.
Yes, it is. It's Jessica
Jessica.
Barcelo,
The river corridor. But does that,
floodplain manager.
You can
Well,
go
and
to, you
floodplain
can ask
manager.
any of them and they'll tell you where to go.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I do that
Jessica.
a lot.
Wetlands in the river corridor are two entirely different
Entirely
things.
different
Yes.
things, yeah.
Yes, but she also does floodplain. But you're right, wetlands is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
So weirdly, it feels like they
wetlands
should
can-
all be
Can occur.
up
nowhere
on the
near-
mountain.
Well, prime example, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you going to check with Rebecca Chalmers?
Yes. And that's, just to clarify, that's to see if we would have any way to.
Jurisdiction
Bring
over
it
our own
back to
wetlands
50.
boundaries.
Yeah, or even a voice, you know, any
A voice,
input.
right.
That's troubling.
Anything that comes out of Montpelier is gonna be bad for us. We have to start from there.
Well, you guys have probably all read it, but the Rural Vermont Rising is a really good place to get information to.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't care for it.
I don't,
I
well,
do.
because
They've turned
again,
into a political
it's-
organization
it's
that I don't
gotten-
appreciate.
That's the
It's
problem.
gone away
I
from the
like-
topic at hand.
yeah, so, not that, I mean, on that subject, not that there hasn't been potentially overstepping and a drunkenness on power situation that has been occurring. But that doesn't mean that everything that has to do with Act 181 or these other things is now 100% wrong. I don't,
No,
when
I,
people get off facts and they start ranting and raving, because I've been reading that and I'm just like, what,
Yeah,
are you
it's
guys,
not-
are you drunk? Like,
I would agree with you. However, they did highlight the fact that a lot of stuff has been done in the back rooms without public.
Yeah.
We're all rural. And sometimes you have to be the loudest voice out there to support the people who aren't being heard.
But I agree, it
Yeah.
has turned totally as a political.
But of course, that's because
Vehicle.
they have
For-
to.
for a lot
They're
of-
up against politics. They have
Yeah,
to.
but organizing against like the Democrats, you know, like I think that's just taking it too far.
But they can say the
Some people have
Republicans.
taken it.
No, I don't think it should be political parties.
But,
you know.
well.
The issue is, and this should go, in my opinion, across whatever party, the issue is trying to balance the push for housing with the need for conservation.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, people did not feel like they had a voice or input. And also, I believe that the way it was crafted was burdensome to rural folks, burdensome to people who have family land or have family farms or have a huge piece of land where suddenly they were burdened financially rather than incentivized to conserve.
Yes.
So now it has become conservation is bad. The efforts, anybody who tried to come up with something clumsily in the back room, whatever, I mean, yes, incorrectly done, but it feels like the entire baby is going out with the bathwater. And also, why aren't all these people who are worried about their rights on land, why are they not up in arms about data centers? Yankee Nuclear, one of the potential development possibilities is a data center. What does that do to land values?
Yet, is it?
It's the land near it, right?
The land near
Next
it.
to it or.
Yeah.
But I mean, after vetoing this, the desire to not suddenly have data centers sprouting up on this rural land that people are like, oh, we are good, we can take care of the land. We don't want any regulations telling us what to do with the land. Well, fine. A lot of good people are in possession of land, but they're not all old Vermonters. There's a lot of people who own a lot of land in Vermont who don't necessarily have the best interests of the state as a whole and of a community in particular. So you can say, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do, and then you could have a data center right next to your property, or housing development with a massive amount of people, and it's going to mess up your well and your septic so I just think that all of a sudden it's become this hue and cry of don't tell us what to do, which I agree with at its essence, but I also feel that it's become an anti-conservation push in its effort to be like, don't tell us what to do. There are thoughtful ways, right? There are thoughtful ways to engage with people, and there are thoughtful ways to not impose, a money grab from the state on every little thing that you want to do. I think that was a real oversight. and not getting community buy-in and engagement. I think all those things are true. But I would wager that there are a lot of folks who are joining in with the hue and cry who maybe haven't even read Act 181. Just saying. That's the feeling I'm getting.
It's definitely swung too far, and it's just, again, it's when people just start to get foaming at the mouth, and instead of like looking at facts and talking about facts in a calm, rational manner, and I feel like that's not what's happening. You know,
Starting in Montpelier.
well, absolutely, because
Yeah.
I
Yes,
agree.
yes.
I agree that I think that these major changes should have, you know, they should have been brought more to the forefront. Now, I will say, myself included sometimes, you know, you've got your own life, you've got a lot going on. If somebody doesn't really like, you know, slap you in the face with something, you just kind of ignore it. Most people are busy, they you know, and they ignore stuff. And this seemed, the Act 181 and the road rule thing seemed to just come out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden it was here, and it's just like, what do you mean? And
It's the first step of the state taking over the forest, taking over our land, not mine, but the people's land.
well,
In
I
the
mean,
state.
I think people, I think as always, people need to just sit down at a table and have calm, rational discussion regarding facts. And if we all did that, you'd find that people are pretty aligned in their beliefs, I think,
Well,
for the most part.
The Act 181 isn't, I mean, I've read it forwards and backwards, and I agree. There are lots of points in 181 that I agree with. I just don't like a government. I'm not going to have them mess with my land and tell me what I can do. We're all, I think that's one of the things that Vermonters stand for. We are all conservationists. We don't clear cut land.
Right.
We go in the forest and we pick this dead and sick to allow the other trees to come through. Most Vermonters are like that. It's the outside influencers, the Montpeliers, the people coming in, the people who want to clear cut the land to sell
And that's the state.
and that's the state. So I think they're looking at the rural Vermonters as bumpkins. We don't know what's good enough for us. And I don't tolerate that. I don't care that I've only been here 20 years. I've still been on this earth 63 years. It doesn't change just because I'm in Vermont. It's inherent in people to want to conserve the land they live on. Some people,
I agree with you.
Some
And
people
if
are
I could
different.
if I could trust that everybody actually,
I don't trust
Had
the
that?
government. I'm sorry. I'll be on record. I don't.
The bulk of
They
people
don't-
living in Vermont today came from somewhere else.
Mhm.
It's that old generational, like,
True.
it's below 25%
It's,
trace their ancestry back in Vermont.
Mhm.
It's very low now.
Oh, yeah.
there's a constant push and pull between when you say, don't tell me what to do with my land. And that is a normal human response. And so you can say, don't tell me what to do with my land, but you also understand that you don't want no zoning, right?
Right.
Because you understand that there have to be some guardrails. So there's a constant push and pull between, don't tell me what to do with my land, and, you know, so those are the things that they're not easy. It's not easy to
But
have that.
homesteading is huge in Vermont. And keeping your family on your land is huge.
Yeah.
And now, in order to do that, you're having to trigger almost Act 250 if you want your more than 2 homes on your property.
And
And a road and stuff.
I don't disagree personally that at least the instances that I've seen of Act 250, I mean, it is incredibly burdensome. I mean, it's, you know,
For the
if you're not rich, If you're
can't
not
do
rich,
it.
you probably aren't gonna do anything,
Uh-uh.
because it's just too burdensome.
Make your
So-
property value go down,
And
make
so
your tax base go
I'm
up
very
for
sensitive to
everybody
that.
else.
I'm very sensitive to sicking Act 250 on people. I do understand there's projects where you need to do it, but I think that people being upset about a road going from, I don't know, what was it, 800 feet to now anything over 800, whatever it was obviously a huge affront to people, and they could see the nightmare of Act 250 getting involved, and now all of a sudden, they can't afford to do anything. Remember, the $450 a square foot to build. Now,
Oh,
on
yeah.
top of that, that doesn't include Act 250 and
Yeah.
thousands and tens of thousands of dollars that's gonna cost you.
Because attorney's fees and everything, it's a long drawn out process. And only the big developers can afford to jump through the hoops.
Well, I would hope that people would just sit down and speak to each other, together, but note that we've got our two visitors who are here at every meeting, but we don't have any other people
Yeah.
here who want to talk about this
Well, we
stuff.
had the folks that came to talk about 181, but I haven't seen them since. I wish we did.
They didn't really
They
talk.
didn't talk.
They want to hear about it.
Yeah.
I
I
think
wish
they
they
just-
said more about.
I think they just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna do something, I guess. I don't know.
They weren't here to inform us
Right.
of what it actually is.
No, I think they were trying to get information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still think that they do need to rework it a bit, because to Marta's point, yes, you can trust people on their land to a certain extent, but like some other people, they need their neighbors sort of to not
Case
step
in
on their
point.
rights. So I do think that there's some merit to, conservation and revisiting that.
What is isn't the group that's supposed to be our representative, the Bennington Regional
Planning Commission.
BCRC.
Yeah, aren't they supposed to be the group that kind of represents us, or?
Well,
My sense is that they represent the state and that they are agents from the state to come and work with us to help
to coerce
to
us
help
into doing what the
lubricate
state wants.
the state's policies.
Yeah.
So it's
I
hard
100%
because,
Who
agree.
pays them? If the state pays them, they represent the state.
Thank
Don't-
you.
Don't we pay them also?
well,
Oh, yeah, we pay them every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's the state handing out the money, they're gonna
It's-
go to whatever the state says.
They're just a pawn.
Well, I think that.
Well, they're like middlemen.
Everyone who's lived in Stamford for any period of time knows that Stamford is pretty protective of their rights and is gonna just stand up to,
I would agree.
the townspeople of Stamford know what it is that they want and what it is they
Well,
don't want.
until they slip something in under the rug behind your back, and nobody finds out about it till it's too late. And that's what's happening.
Well, and I think that's why everyone's so upset over this Act 181
Yeah.
thing, because they just feel like they were
I would agree.
blindsided with it.
Mhm.
And-
Yeah,
and-
I agree with that.
and-
I agree with
and-
that.
Whether it was maybe it was on purpose. Maybe they really didn't want people to.
I want to
don't
think
know,
that it
but-
wasn't, because I know two of the people that are on that committee. And I really think they were just doing their job. They were tasked a job, and I think they forgot
Good
about
faith,
the
yeah.
rural. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it was malicious. Hope it wasn't.
Maybe just in their own bubble, and they just
Yep.
think in a certain way, and they just think
Here's
that,
what we need to
here's
do.
what we
How
gotta
I
do.
think
we
that's
make it
right.
happen?
I think
on
that's right,
paper.
because there was some whole thing from one of the guys who was like the environmental consultant, right, who worked with the legislators. Some talk that he gave, talking about what his goals were, and so it's probably some guy from Norway or whatever who who came up with this plan, And, you know, and then legislators try to enact it and people feel like it's, you know, directed but I don't think it was malicious. I do think the part where the state comes in to get money for stuff,
Right.
like why are these things so expensive? Why aren't there grants for, you know, people who are not giant developers? Why aren't there grants for those people to have help with Act 250? Why isn't there like a legal aid society sort of thing that helps them go through with that? I mean, that's the
Right.
part that is not respectful of the difference between rural landowners and big corporate developers, in my opinion.
Right, if environmentalism is really the goal, we should make it easier, not harder.
Well,
Exactly, and we should
Speaking of,
incentivize people and also incentivize and reward people for conserving their land instead of
Yep.
punishing them.
why don't,
But grants come essentially from our tax dollars.
yeah,
It's
they
what we
do.
That's
pay to
true.
The state,
Yeah,
they
we pay
take
to the
our money
state.
from the state and
That's
they
true.
give it out to whoever they want.
That's true, that's
It
true.
is it is. But, you know, if conservation is so important,
And it is.
why are we allowing, and this is just a side thing, we had to, we had to take like a 2-hour drive. Every roadside was just filled with that knotweed. So all of our native wildflowers and everything, you know, we're so worried about the bees and oh my God, don't mow your lawn, but the state is doing nothing about the knotweed that is literally,
I don't think
Conservation
I
Commission.
don't, I mean, now,
I know
so
they can't.
I didn't
They're-
have a stitch of knotweed on my property before Irene, and I ended up, I had to take, right after Irene, I had to take a very long trip, right after,
Mhm.
up there, and basically, during Irene, knotweed was just spread over the entire state. Now it's everywhere. There's
It was before, we
hard.
had it on Clough Road when we moved here and that was before Irene.
No, I know, it did exist, but now it's spread around and there are ways to treat it with herbicides,
Yeah.
but it's really hard. I mean, it's really, really hard. It's not, there's no, I mean, I think we're gonna lose I think we're just, I think we've lost the battle and it is
But
what
we're not
it
even
is.
trying to slow it down. If you cut it before it starts to flower,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I get it, the roots can go 50, 100 feet, 150 feet. But if you keep trying to knock it down, now it's all going up Mill Road.
Mhm.
It's
It's
horrible.
not
It's
up at
on my
mine yet.
property. I hate it. Like,
Yeah,
I keep
it
trying to
took
mow it
over
down.
Clough
I
Road,
just-
one
it's
section
horrible.
behind the barn, it was just insane.
Mhm.
The only good thing is it's really
You know
good
what
at retaining
doesn't help
banks.
when they ditch? They always, people ask for the
Yeah.
dirt out of the ditch, you take it in your yard and you spread it yourself.
Spread it.
Because
Right.
if you take that dirt out of the ditch, that's where all that knotweed is, so you take it and spread it around.
Wow.
You know, so you can, so, that's how
Wow.
it spreads. We do it to ourselves,
Yeah,
oh, free dirt,
yeah.
no knotweed.
Anyway, that's one for the Conservation Committee.
Yeah,
How's
we
that been
started
going? I didn't read any of the notes, did they?
There's not much in the minutes. So.
I think they're just getting started.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to the last meeting, they were just talking a lot.
Kinda like us?
Kind of like what we're doing.
Kind of like what
Well,
we're
they're
doing.
trying to figure out what they can do, you know, make suggestions.
I mean, one of the suggestions for that other, you know, that plant, the poison parsnip.
Oh, nasty.
The other suggestion for that, which I mean, maybe we should bring up with Dave Tatro, is to do the roadside mowing before that seeds.
Yeah.
Well, Kurt
Because-
said that,
What's that?
that's what Kurt pointed out during the meeting.
Exactly,
Because if you do it after, you're spreading it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So maybe we should make a pitch.
I remember several years ago talking about this at the select board and Dave said something about the state won't do it while birds are nesting.
Oh, geez.
This whole thing came up at the last select board meeting, and Dave was here and Kurt was here.
Was that
Kurt,
the reason?
he didn't mention that,
Okay.
but they did at length already talk about it last
Oh, good. Okay,
Monday,
good.
Thursday. So he's aware.
Okay,
hurt me to mow it again. But it can't hurt to, see why he doesn't mow it. If he can.
I'm sure he's, part of the issue is that he's busy and he
Yeah.
does stuff when he can do it, how he can do it, and he
Well, they
slips it
have
in
the
when he
third
has
person.
time.
Can't the
True,
third
they have the
person?
third person.
Yeah.
We
I
know he can swing a weed whacker.
Yeah,
In the end, it all comes down to the state regulating what he can do when he can do it.
You mean as far as Dave
Yeah,
is concerned?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it's just starting to flower, up by me anyway. And it
Alright.
feels like, what?
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I'm
is
s-
flowering.
yeah.
It's right up,
Up, all
right
the way up
before
County Road.
our, yeah, all up Mill Road.
Mhm.
It's all flowering already.
And
Yeah.
by now, I mean, I've seen nests and I've seen birds and they're fledging now. So,
Yeah,
It's
we've
the,
had,
it's the birds that are in the birds that are in the fields, the ones that nest on the ground. Like you have to wait until like the end of July to mow.
but how many of those birds are nesting along the road?
Well, I hear you.
I mean, believe me, I'm a bird lover. I don't want to kill any birds, but it just feels like that little swath.
I don't think there's a lot because the traffic, the bird would not endanger their.
Of course.
You know what I mean, to put a nest.
I feel
Of
like
course,
that's
they're
not
gonna
a
put
danger
it-
area.
Yeah,
Just common sense.
yeah,
The deer's not gonna, bed in plain sight of you because
Right.
it's trying to hide.
exactly.
All right.
okay,
Shall
All that.
we move on
Moving
to
on.
bylaws?
sorry, this was,
We needed to vent.
Wasn't there one thing that,
Oh, the attendance thing?
yes,
All right.
oh, the attendance you want to go over.
So I just, so we had it at 3 days or 25%, and I just thought we could change that. Would we want to make it 6? So right now, it's unexcused absence of any member for more than, we had 3 consecutive, or 25% of total meetings over a period of 1 term will be cause for consideration for removal.
Right, but now
So-
we're meeting twice a month, so it needs
that's,
to be
that's
more.
an unexcused.
Unexcused.
So somebody calls in and
Like, for example, Natalie's, that would be.
Natalie is
Jim,
totally
yeah.
excused.
Yeah,
so if
What's
there's,
Jim's excuse?
I don't know. what
food
is it?
poisoning,
Whoops.
really?
so he said.
All right,
Okay.
But we also had consecutive here.
I think consecutive's an important
Yeah,
word.
that
Yeah.
unexcused consecutive.
So do we want to say 6, or what do we want to say?
I mean, that would be
As a-
6 weeks, so that's
yeah,
pretty significant.
Yes.
You,
Is that too
you don't,
much?
That
no,
seem-
no, I'm
no.
just saying, if you don't call in,
I mean, yeah, but if you're saying,
We
if
had
you're
it, I'm just
saying
saying we had it at 3, but when we wrote
that
this,
someone could just miss 6 meetings,
before we start.
without calling in or without anything.
Well, I think we were looking at past behavior where people missed 6 months at a time and were not removed, so
but doesn't that seem like,
we were being, that's why we were being lenient though, because we were
But-
going from
but
no
it's-
rules to.
seems like way too lenient for me, especially if it's, you're not, like, if you can call in, then it doesn't even count.
I think when that was coming up, we did that on purpose because when we were doing bylaws back in whenever, 1920, we were meeting every week.
Well, this was what we wrote
Yeah.
after you, Deb,
So
just to
you're
be
more
clear, this
right.
we did when he was chair.
I was here, yeah.
You were?
Yep.
Were you on the board?
When,
I don't think
yeah.
that you were, because your name wasn't on this form.
Oh, okay.
So this was I don't know what happened before this, before
No,
me.
no, I
Because
was-
I
was
replaced you,
here.
I replaced you, so we were never on the board at the same time. So I wrote this up, so that means you were not on the board when
Okay,
we did this, but it could have been the same rule for all I know.
maybe.
So I'm just, all I know is what happened since I've been on the board, like
So-
2 years ago. when we
So if someone calls up this meeting and says, oh, I can't come because of blah, blah. And then the next meeting comes and they say, oh, I can't come because of blah, blah. And then that keeps going on. But meanwhile, nothing's been triggered because they're calling in and giving an excuse. Then why should this with no excuses be so lenient? if you can't pick up the phone and say, I'm sorry, I can't come this evening.
And that's what was happening, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
just not showing up.
People were
That's,
I think, so you're giving them 6 weeks. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
which I
Do we-
think is
I
too
just-
lenient.
I'm just throwing that out there. It was,
Yeah.
just because it was 3, we had done 3, minus you two. The 3 of us and whoever else was on the board then had done 3. And that would have been 3 months. So,
Yeah, but now it's
but
happening.
yeah, so now I just had, in my head, I left it blank so we can figure it out. But in my head, I just doubled it because we doubled our meetings. But I'm open to whatever.
I mean, it just seems to me like when you're talking about someone who's not even calling in, that means that they're not doing their job.
Mhm.
And so why can they?
Also, I think we have a stronger board than 2 years ago when we wrote this. We were lucky at the time to get what we got, you know? I think we're stronger now. We can make a stricter rule. Do you know
How
what
do
I'm
you
saying?
call in?
Call the
Telephone.
Write to
chair.
me, text me, let me know that you're not gonna, or you
Or
call in
any-
and be on
Well,
the phone,
I
like,
don't have a phone number. I got your email, but that's it.
I'll
You
give
don't
my
have a phone?
Huh?
You don't have a cell phone?
Yeah,
You can call me
I
on the
do, but I
phone.
don't have a
You
number.
can call me. I take phone
You
calls.
don't have a number on your cell phone?
No, he's saying he doesn't have her number.
Oh, sorry.
You can email me, telephone me, text me. I'll give you all my information. Or if you cannot be in a meeting, but like physically be here, but you want to still participate, like Natalie did once because she's sick and didn't want to get us all sick.
Yeah.
Remember we took the phone and we put it here, the
Yeah,
town telephone. If you want to participate that way, you can.
I've done that.
I
I've done
don't,
Yeah, I
that
think you did.
when I was in California to take care of Caitlin.
I don't know. I mean,
So
I
what
just
does
think
everybody else think? What
Should
number
we-
are you looking at?
Maybe we keep it at 3.
That's 3. Yeah, that's 3 times of just blowing it off. Like
That's true.
like
Well,
I'm just not gonna show
but what's an
up.
excused absence?
Well, the other
Let's go
thing
to
is
that.
then we get into the like delegate my homework.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
excused is like Jim has food poisoning.
So,
but like,
I don't think you can legislate that. I mean, yes, you're right. You know, people can play games and but I don't. People are adults and they've been appointed to this board,
Hopefully.
and if they're gonna call up and make stupid excuses, then you probably just have to accept that they're calling up and making stupid excuses.
yeah, I mean, I don't foresee that on the current board, but we just need to cover our bases in case we have different members added.
So why don't we just keep it what it was, which
Like
is
3?
3?
3 consecutive and 6
That
a
one
year.
too.
That
That was
one.
25
happy with too.
I don't think it should be consecutive. I think 3 in the course of a year.
Unexcused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with that.
We had
Because
that
I
on
feel like-
25% of total meetings. Total meetings. I forget how we did the math there because I'm not a math person.
That was-
actually.
That's a tough one because meetings are going to vary as we get busier. They're going
Right,
to become
that's right.
Well,
or
considering
25% based on an average of how many meetings per year.
it's now June, the end of June, so we're talking July till next March before this gets redone. Do you think we're going to still be meeting twice a month? Or we can just get rid of the percentage? I can't remember why we did. Do you remember why we did
That's
percentage?
104, 25% of 104 meetings.
I don't know, really, Aldi?
Wow.
Let's just get rid of the percentage, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Okay,
104
and let's get
meetings.
rid of consecutive
Yeah, twice a
also.
month.
Yeah.
Oh.
24. Wow.
So
You come in twice a
unexcused
week?
absence of
Yeah.
any member,
Times
So we're
52.
just gonna
Or
simplify
more
to
than-
unexcused absence.
Yeah.
Do we wanna say 2 or 3? Unexcused.
This is now in a year.
Yes. In one term, so yes.
I don't know. I mean, I can go for 3.
Yeah, I do 3 as long as we get that consecutive out of there.
Should they be required to watch the video when they're not?
I think if somebody's home, say, sorry, I
Keep
sprained
going.
my ankle. I literally cannot get in my car and drive. Call
Right.
in.
That's true. You should
yes, call in.
Food
I mean-
poisoning, you can't.
No,
I get it.
You can still-
Baby.
You got a baby. I
baby,
get it.
no.
Yeah.
Right,
You got called away, family matters.
Right.
There's things we're
That
all
you
gonna
can't
have to
help.
be faced with.
Exactly.
And, you know, the
Pam, you
unexcused
got a
portion.
closing, you know, sometimes you can't control certain things.
Would that be considered an excused or unexcused absence?
I would be excused because I
It's
would call you up and
excused.
say, I'm sorry, I can't be here.
Okay, then we're redefining unexcused versus, because we had, it
Yeah.
was just sickness of a direct family member issue, either being
Oh,
sick or
see,
direct
see, You're
family.
getting all
This
into
is-
this
yeah.
stuff where
I
you're
think you
talking,
have
I
to
mean,
just
people
trust people
are
as
adults.
I'm just
adults,
saying
I
what we
agree.
said
Yeah.
before
No, I
when we
know.
made this.
I'm just saying that
Reiterating.
people are adults and they have to act like adults and they have to be treated like
Okay.
adults.
How's the rest of it say? I wanna just,
Okay, so right now we have unexcused absences of any member for more than 3 total meetings over a period of 1-year term because for consideration for removal from the planning commission. And there's-
review for, like, if
Where's review?
consideration for removal, I'd say,
For consideration for review.
yeah. Or their participation would be reviewed by.
Okay, at the discretion of the chair and voted by the majority of the board, such affirmative vote for removal shall be advanced to the select board immediately, requesting the appropriate measures be taken. I mean, I don't foresee this being a problem anyway.
No.
for us.
But it has been in the past.
Right,
Right.
that's why we
yes,
have this.
yes.
Right.
We had, I think, 2 people I can think of that would just not show up.
Never come.
Never
Right.
come.
They're just basically taking up a spot on
And
the
we
board.
couldn't, and they couldn't be
so that,
removed.
so that no one else could get on
Right.
and,
Right, so
and
this,
not showing up.
so this sets
Yeah.
us up to be able to then recommend to the select board that they be removed from our board.
Which I think is good, because I think we have to come up with that strong response to
Yes.
inspire the select board.
And if everyone has signed on to it, that they understand that.
Right.
All right, so I'll retype this up with our changes then. Okay. Good. All right, bylaws.
Great.
Pam, is this you, in case people come, I didn't know those 3 people's names, and I didn't have a piece of paper ready. That's in case anybody shows up that you don't know that. Okay.
So are we still on roads? Where
Well,
would you guys like?
I think, I was thinking perhaps we could look at setbacks would be a good place to start.
Which I have opinions on
Oh,
roads.
good,
Look
okay.
at what?
Setbacks.
Oh,
I feel like we just need to
Okay.
land on one thing and kind of work it.
yeah. Okay. There's something in here about setbacks, right?
Yeah.
Setbacks are pretty much in the dimensional standards, so in each of those, you will see like minimum side yard, road frontage, all of that, that's what's considered a setback. So I think, if I can start, we
Yeah.
were
Yes.
talking about private roads, which I think are the most, I think we need to focus on the most.
Mhm.
Because right now, and I keep going back to these thin lots,
Mhm.
we have no way to protect other people's property.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that just because it's you guys, but you know, you've got trees
Multiple.
that can, you know, you can damage other people's trees or whatever, and that is personal property. You own those trees. I've read other bylaws, many of which I really, really like, but there are pages and pages.
Yeah.
Personally, I think a private road has a kind of overall, this seems to be in small towns, similar in size to ours, is 10 feet. For a private road, they require you to do a private road for 2 or more homes.
10 feet for what?
Driveway
From
setback
what?
From the edge of the other
From the
person's
edge.
property?
Some had 25.
I would advocate for 25.
Me too.
I
I
would
would too.
advocate that,
Because you're
that's
gonna
where I'm
kill,
going.
you're gonna kill trees
Yes.
at 10 feet.
Right.
I would
absolutely.
agree. I think driveways and private roads should be 25 feet.
I agree.
And that gives you enough for most trees that
Mhm.
you're gonna be able to preserve them. I mean, yeah, you are gonna do some damage for some of the biggest, oldest trees, but
you're
you
not
probably aren't
gonna-
gonna kill it.
You're not gonna kill it. Exactly. You're gonna get the fringe roots on it, but
Basically,
you're
in
not gonna kill it.
general, the roots
Yeah.
typically go out around as far as the canopy.
Okay.
As far as the canopy, yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking back at old notes. Let me see. Does this have to do with what we're saying? Sorry, I'm not sure. At least 25, this was a change that was, the old planning commission said at least 25 feet with a 20-foot setback from the side property line and approved by the planning commission. That was changed from 20 feet to 25 feet,
This is 7.2.
.1. Is that the same thing, or am I looking? Did you see that it was, you guys had looked at changing it before?
Yeah, it was 20 feet and we're saying 25.
Okay,
I
so
have
it's
that.
just 20 feet in here?
Yep.
Yeah, so the older planning commission that did, whoever who did this, I think Deb's group, wanted to change it to 25.
All right, so let's, I don't know, star that.
All right, I'll put it in here.
Well, this is 20. This isn't talking about a setback.
It's not,
No.
is it?
Mm-mm. It's talking about the width of the road. It's not talking about a setback. Setbacks would be, we don't have any, we have no
Oh, I see,
verbiage
yeah.
right now for setbacks.
We don't have any
of
at
roads.
all?
Wow.
Driveways, nothing, zero. There's
Okay.
nothing.
So table this question.
Yeah,
for
this
later.
this 7.2 is the width of
The
a road.
width of the
All
road.
right.
Now,
Okay, so where in the bylaws would that, like, where, is there a setback section?
no,
Where-
they're on dimensional standards,
But
so
not for the road, right?
they're not for the roads. We would
driveway.
have to somehow insert it in here
Okay,
as probably, I mean, it would be under section 7, I would think, general regulations,
uh-huh,
and you would talk about roads there.
Roads and, we're gonna separate roads and driveways?
Yes, and here's why I think we should. A road is totally different from a driveway.
Yep.
Driveway, private property, all the way.
also, it doesn't have to be
It doesn't have to,
wide enough
you
for
don't have
a
to bypass.
fire truck, it doesn't have to be,
We're not talking about the width of it, we're talking about the setback.
Well,
Right.
well, right, but are we, so if we're talking about a setback, are you talking about a driveway setback and a private road setback? Are the two, because
That's what I'm saying, are we doing them separately or?
then if we're talking about protecting like root structures, then we should keep it just singular.
agreed.
Yeah, because why,
The same.
what difference would it make? Why would you make one 25 feet and one something?
Right, I just
different?
wonder if we're gonna list them separately, do you know what I mean? Like, are we gonna do a driveway section and then a private road section?
Then they will be the same.
But the same thing?
Mhm. Yep, a driveway will serve one or two
Yeah, what
One or
what
two
does a
homes,
driveway, this was
one or
one of
two
our
homes
things.
on the
Driveway.
same parcel. So
Okay,
once you separate those parcels and deed them separately, that becomes a private road.
Okay, we did this already, in February. So right of way, a driveway serves one parcel, which can have an ADU.
Mhm.
A right of way serves a second lot, passed through as its public land. These are my notes, sorry. Road serves more. We will call it a private road as opposed to a private way to avoid confusion with right of way. And Jim had said a private road is a privately owned driveway, lane, so he has driveway there. Privately owned driveway, lane, access way, or similar parcel of land that serves as access from private property to a public road. Take out driveway. We wanted to take the word driveway out of there. Does that make sense? I'm just reading our.
I don't know. I think
What's-
it's pretty common sense what the difference between them, and that seems very verbose.
Right, we just didn't define driveway, I guess that was the problem.
So the definition of a driveway is that it serves one or two homes.
Right,
One parcel
home,
on a
one parcel,
One parcel.
one parcel, which can have an ADU, so it could be.
So it can be one or two homes, because the second would be the
The
ADU.
ADU.
The ADU. And the bylaws that I read are pretty clear about that. Once you add that third, it
It's
becomes
private.
a private road, because you can only have one ADU
On a parcel.
so you add a third, you've got to deed it out somehow. So that has to be a private road. And what I'm seeing a lot in bylaws for other towns is that they definitely are requiring that any private road has to be bypassable for emergency.
Okay.
And brought up to almost standard of a regular road.
Okay, so, all right.
And they're requiring road maintenance agreements.
Right.
Okay, but so,
In
Let's-
perpetuity? I mean, what happens?
let's go back to what we were talking about earlier. The farmer wants to have 3 homes on his property for his family members.
Mhm.
Why does the farmer have to have a road that's brought up to town standards for
I'm just telling you what
Because
I'm
when you
reading,
sell it
yeah.
out in the future, it's,
For emergency vehicle.
amongst family, you can do whatever you want, but it gets sold off to different.
Yeah,
No,
but
they're
so
all
what, so
different
what?
parcels.
It's still not, it's not a town road, again, so that is putting an extreme expense on someone.
It used to
And
be
I
in
don't
Bylaw.
see for what good reason you would do that.
To get a fire truck up there,
Yeah.
be able to turn around.
No, so.
Because otherwise,
that's-
how do you get fire
The
insurance?
fire truck can still get up there. It does not have to be brought up to road. Our firemen go up and do stuff in the woods. You
Okay.
cannot
Trail.
legitimately say that basically, because a fire truck might have to drive up there someday,
but
it has to
Pam,
be up
You
to
can't
town
put
standards.
more than, according to the state, you can't put more than one ADU on a parcel. So you are saying that, and I agree with you, I'm just saying, we have to comply with the state. You can't do it. You cannot put a third home on your property. You can't.
If you establish another parcel.
You have to
Subdivided.
subdivide it, which is then a planned unit development, which then would require a road.
Okay, but
You can't.
forgive me, and, cause I don't know, cause I'm new. I'm gonna use that for a long time. I'm new, but did we not, in our old zoning laws, enact this thing, like this compound thing, where people could make compounds? We never did that.
You can't do compounds. They wanted to, but the state doesn't allow it.
So that just negates the whole argument against this 181 in the road rule, where the whole argument is that farmers own 300 acres. They want to put multiple homes on this for their family members. They're creating a compound, and you're telling me that the state's just like, yeah, no, we don't like that. So no. And we're gonna make your road cost you $1 bazillion.
Well,
You could make
Maybe
your
I'm
initial.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
if people are building 3 homes for their kids, that is one moment in time, right? I mean, all Deb is saying is that they're requiring that be a separate parcel.
It
Like,
would have to be
You
a
could
separate
still
parcel.
do it.
Look, I'm sorry to keep bringing up your neighbors, but they had to parcel it out.
Yeah.
They
But
had
they
to.
put in a private road.
They put in a private road, they had to parcel out their,
Okay.
So does that road have
How
to
did
be
they
the
do
code
that
of
with
fire
no-
trucks?
not now, but I'm saying
But should
that-
it?
that's
I mean,
They came to a meeting, had it voted on.
it was voted, yeah.
Wait, whoa. So you have a skinny strip of land
Mhm.
and it's only got so much frontage. How much frontage does it have?
I think it was 300.
272.
Oh, you know
Okay,
it's
so
not.
So
Uncle Puppy,
272 feet of frontage, what is our frontage requirement for a lot? What do you mean,
It's
175,
lot frontage. Hold on.
It went down to 150, went back up to 175. Used to be 200, but I fell. It's been all over the place.
Hit 150, right?
150, and that's for residential. It's different.
So basically, they came to the
150.
planning commission, or they came to the ZBA.
150 for all three.
So they had 272 feet of frontage. They needed 300. So,
No, they need 150.
150.
well, if they're gonna make two lots.
The lots
150
are in tandem.
Only on the road they need 150.
The private
Once you
road.
put
Oh,
in the
but
private
because they
road.
made their own private road.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
then,
now
now they do have road
now they have
frontage
road
along
frontage.
their own private
Because
road.
it's
Yeah.
long.
Problematic, yes.
And
This
an
was our
acre's
case
208
test
feet,
subject
so
here.
automatically, you figure it out, you have your 150 feet.
And that's, I mean, I don't think they can do more because it really drops
Yeah,
off at some point.
It
It's-
costs them to make it out.
But I mean, there are parcels out there that you could conceivably put.
Yeah, there's big
Yeah.
flat area.
Big flat area, put a road.
Well,
Well, I mean, you look at my
Road.
property.
Yeah.
I mean, I could basically put a road down my property and then probably go north with it and just be like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Stick
You'd
with
have
it.
your own sewer district.
But see, I can see where, when you're doing that maybe it makes sense to have up to road standards because they're using it as road frontage.
It used to be in the bylaws that it had to be the road standards to put in the private road, but they took it out.
I don't know, it's weird because I have a visceral, rejection of what I look at as the big farmer's field with him putting up, multiple
20,
families and making a
25 houses.
compound and then I see that as different than somebody who's gonna be like, put in the road and then just start slapping them up.
But they do have to have 2 acres apiece.
They have to have 2 acres apiece, and they have to comply with the setbacks. So my thought is always just to, and maybe I'm contradicting myself. I don't know. Maybe you can call me out on it. I agree with a road, but I always look to the future. You always want to think about what you're doing for the next person. Joe Farmer passes on. Nobody else can afford it. If Joe Farmer had set up his compound properly, they could be portioned off.
Yeah.
But if Joe Farmer put his houses right all next to each other for his family, you blow the setbacks. So each house has to be able to contain
Self-contained,
itself.
yeah.
Yes, my opinion.
Yes, agree.
And that's a planned unit development, and that would have to go. You can't just keep adding houses without, that's why the state said more than 2 becomes a
Works
planned
today,
unit.
but 100 years from now, it ain't gonna work, cause all that.
It's not gonna work, and is it fair for, the people that now wanna sell and, oh my God, I can't sell because now this whole thing is a non-conforming lot. It's 100 acres of non-conforming blah, and I can't sell it. Because the houses don't conform. We're all on the same septic.
Mhm.
We all have 17 kids on the same septic.
And
If you
potentially an
leave a loophole,
ADU.
somebody will use it.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting back to our argument from the beginning, that is essentially what 181 is trying to protect us all from. So are we really for it or against it? That's what I said. I read it and I didn't see the outrage that came out of it. yes, hands off my land, but I'm still gonna comply with the regulations. And I have a very big parcel, most of it's not buildable, but I could easily put 20 houses up
Mhm.
there.
Mm-hmm,
We're up high enough, the water is pure and beautiful.
mm-hmm.
I mean, and probably someday there will be.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, the road, the infrastructure's already there.
okay, so we're back to,
Okay.
are we going to force people, if they put a road in, we're gonna force them to bring it up to town standards?
Not necessarily. I'm saying there are some other towns that do that. Not necessarily town standards, like not the perfect crown in the middle and ditching along the side, but accessible for
Mergers.
emergency.
If you put in a minimum requirement and then make it others, is what you want, so you can get the equivalent. That's reasonable.
And that's where we got down to that 7.2, 20-foot wide
Right.
road.
That's wide.
20 foot?
Not
Not really.
Near the wall.
I don't think it's terribly wide when you've got
Your-
2 trucks passing with their mirrors out.
My truck's 20 foot long, so if I park it like that, I got the whole world blocked off. You ain't getting past. Right?
And well, that depends if it's a road or a driveway.
I mean, how wide is Mill Road? I mean, not much more than 20 feet.
Yeah.
LaSure?
Boy, and
Yours might be
sometimes,
wider. I think,
Nah, not really.
no?
Maybe the tar road, they widened it out for the tar.
yeah.
Have they done that? Did they do
Oh,
it?
yeah, it's all. They did the hill first and then they're doing Jefferson, it's almost, one day they'll probably get, one more day, probably Wednesday. they'll have it all
So is
done.
that
So
where it
LaSure's
got all
all done?
sloppy? Is
No,
that what
just
they
the hill.
tarred? Or no?
Oh,
Up to
Just the
Whitman's.
hill.
Or Whitman's.
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
So Deb, I have your note from way back when. Did you want to expound on what you meant there?
I have lots of notes down, Reba.
What, Pam? You look perplexed. You look pained.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, obviously, I'm most concerned about the setback, the setback and making sure that we get a good setback so people cannot
Mhm.
kill people's trees.
Yeah.
That's the first step.
But again, I do want to,
So then,
I do want
Let me make sure I
want
covered your point.
to not, I mean, I just think we should always keep in mind, that we shouldn't create regulations that add on, bless you, that add on enormous amount of cost to people, unless there's a good reason for doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like where we're heading with this is that we don't need private roads to be up to these massive standards.
Right.
So we're deciding that private roads can exist, and what we're also trying to decide is what is the setback for private roads? Are we 25 feet?
I think
it should be.
I would advocate for 25 feet. I will tell you that Dave Tatro is he's against this thing completely. He told me that he's just like, well, you look at these pieces of land and sometimes right up against the property line is the only place it could be. And, my answer to that is, oh, well.
Oh, well.
I mean,
There's
oh,
a
well.
certain reality to oh well.
If I
And
buy
it-
a piece of land that's on top of a ledge,
right.
I agree.
Exactly.
When
If
you
it-
go
if
to
the
look
land
at a piece of
doesn't-
land, you look, where's the driveway gonna be? And like, if you realize, like, I mean, I'm thinking of one particular on Mill Road there, like, man, there's no place for a driveway.
Exactly.
There's no place for a driveway.
Yeah.
Just look at it.
Yeah, that's true. There are certain, and I remember in one of the sort of historic reports, town reports that you brought in, I remember seeing, from Mora, I guess, it's like, no, sorry, this lot isn't buildable because
Yeah.
it's not perking.
We see
There's
that in
no.
Alpenwald.
Yes.
All the time.
So I think the oh well factor is real, and it's due diligence on the part of the buyer of a piece of land if they have a fantasy, right, about I'm going to build my dream house here, to do their research.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons to make the bylaws really readable and really digestible.
Right,
Because-
readable and clear.
Very
Readable
clear.
and clear, and
You almost wanted, I hate to say it, but you almost want explanations embedded in
Agreed.
a lot of these little subsections. you know,
agreed.
kind of
Well,
here's
it's like
what we're
setbacks,
thinking.
you'll have a setback or something, but it doesn't tell you the setback right there. Say a setback for a barn, doesn't say barn, and the setback is, say, 25 feet. There's a lot of places where it says it requires a setback, but then you gotta go fishing to find out what the
Like,
setback.
what is the setback? Yeah.
Should be together. Yeah. Yeah, open,
Fire
outside
pit.
fire pit. So there's a setback for it.
Right.
So what's a setback?
Right.
You gotta go searching for.
You have to know what it means.
Now,
See,
they
I
don't
think
call
that-
me-
I think that it would
Right.
be good for, you know, like people like yourself, to read these bylaws and really be able to point this stuff out. I mean, I just look at them and I'm just like,
Yeah,
these
Yeah.
just do not, they don't read well at
agreed,
all.
agreed.
There has to be a way to make them more digestible.
You gotta read, peruse.
Also, Rochester.
Rochester.
Rochester is also one in which part of what happens as they're going through, in terms of letting you know when you have to get something, you know, approved or permitted or not permitted, all of that, is it keeps referring to, this is the town law, but there is also a state requirement. And therefore, you know, this is not, you know, what I'm saying in this sentence, you know,
Is because of,
is because of something else, and it being okay on this level doesn't necessarily mean it's okay on this level.
Wow.
So it's really a sequential reminder again and again
right,
that is not apparent in these.
So I love that. That sounds great. The issue that I can see with it though is if first of all, our bylaws, in theory, once we write them, shouldn't be changing all the time. But
We only
also
changed one.
the state laws can change. So I guess I would be concerned about who's gonna make sure that once our bylaws and those explanations get set up, who's gonna make sure that that's kept up to date? Do we have the ability to do that?
Planning commission.
yeah, it's the planning commission.
That's your job.
Do we have, I mean, is that,
That's why we
Pretty-
keep up with
pretty-
DCR saying, keep up on the new laws. There's an advocacy chat once a month that I do that always talks about the law changes,
so,
like the 12 chickens.
Great to know.
Gotta know these.
So
things.
how does right of way fit into all this?
Oh, I know all about right of way.
Tell.
Well, yeah, somebody does.
Well,
An expert, I don't care.
a right of way, so no parcel can be landlocked.
Correct, that's a law.
Correct. So if a parcel is quote unquote landlocked, you have to have a deed of right of way over another parcel to get to yours. That is deeded. It is owned by you, even though it's owned, so it's
It's on
duly
both
owned.
deeds.
It's utilized.
It's on both deeds,
Yeah.
yes.
Should we
So-
define right of way? I'm just saying, in the
Should we?
definitions. Yes.
Sure. But
I
we
know it's
had-
not there.
No, it's not defined, but we probably should.
Okay.
We should define right-of-way roads and
Private road.
private, right-of-way, driveway, and private road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Private
yeah.
road, okay.
but it's
Okay,
just.
well, that
it's
would
an
take some of the confusion out.
And a right-of-way can be, as opposed to an easement is more like utilities and things of that nature.
Mhm.
Whereas a
I always thought
right-of-way,
of right of way and an easement for the same thing.
not always. I mean, they're similar. They are deeded, yes.
And does the person who is looking to unlock their landlocked land compensate
Nope.
it just becomes an agreed upon, and is there a determination, who determines where the access is gonna go through someone's land for
I
someone to
don't know of
unlandlock.
any recent, I mean, these are old parcels
Mm-hmm,
that are up in a lot of camps. The
mm-hmm.
only way you can get to it is,
Stagecoach Road and Hartwellville is privately in the middle of national forest.
Oh,
they
It's
have
been
to
there
have,
forever.
they have to have right of way over
Yeah,
the
yeah,
national
they have.
forest, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they can come out to the national
A
forest.
right of way is usually, it has an end point, whereas an
Mm.
easement is more of a,
Passing through.
yeah, like power lines and stuff.
Okay,
Like our back of our property has an easement going through for the power lines. It's not a right of way, it's just an easement. Everybody has,
Access.
okay.
so we
So
want
we
to,
want to make definitions for
yes, we
all those?
want to define those. So all I have for driveway is serves one parcel, but what serves one parcel? I just need another word there.
Driveway serves one or two homes on one parcel.
One parcel,
Yeah,
but it can be an
Well, the
ADU.
second home's gotta be an ADU, right?
so do you mean like a gravel surface, or is that what you're asking?
Well, it's just, that's not a complete, just saying serves one parcel, I feel like it needs, yeah, something like that. So what your team did, a minor private travel way serving up to 3 parcels. I don't know why it said that. Which proves vehicular access from an adjoining road to a parking space, garage, or other structure. I don't know why you guys said that, that's what was said.
I don't, that's,
I don't think
Not
that's
in
what
the-
we're trying to get at now.
no.
It's probably
But
like,
travel way,
I
that's
don't-
what I'm looking for.
Is that the highlighted?
Yes.
I don't think that was adopted.
No, none of these were adopted.
Oh,
These are the changes suggested in 2023. I'm looking for, what I was looking for is like travel way for driveway. I think I was looking for like a
23, they
noun.
were adopted
I
in
honestly don't
20.
think we need to like come up with another word for
We need a-
driveway.
we need a-
Driveway, that's just another term.
why can't we
It's
just
a
say driveway?
driveway.
It's not a
It's
legal
just,
driveway.
it
Just say a driveway
serves one
serves
parcel.
one
Okay.
parcel.
Yeah.
A driveway serves one parcel containing,
No, a driveway doesn't have to have a parcel doesn't have to have anything on it to have a driveway.
but don't we need to say not more than 2?
Well, that,
Not
yeah,
more
That goes
than
with
2.
parcel though, right? That should be understood from the word parcel. Because you only allowed one home per parcel except for the ADU.
Means a definition for parcel.
So,
driveway
okay,
serves
but so
one
then,
parcel.
but if I were someone moving to this
I
state,
know what you're saying.
if I were someone moving to this state, how would I know that a parcel only means a dwelling and an ADU? How would I know that? You can't just assume that parcel means that. So why not say that it leads to with not more than?
We could. I mean, it's being redundant, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, expand the explanation.
Just
Do we want to do that?
yeah, just because.
So serving, serves one parcel which may contain, or what was it saying?
Which can contain no more than 2 homes.
One
Do we need to
home and
specify that
ADU.
one-
Yeah,
an
one
ADU.
home and an ADU.
Then yeah,
Thank you.
So if they say it's home or residence?
dwelling.
Dwelling, thank you, I knew that, I needed a different word there.
One ADU. Boom. Great.
Okay. so
Okay,
now
private road.
Onward and upward.
Yep.
Private.
And given what you were just saying about adding things right away, do we want to put the setback on the driveway? Now that we've just said, let's combine these things, so
We
let's go
don't
back.
have that anywhere, where are we gonna put that? In the table, or no?
Go back to the definition. Why not include the setback with the definition?
Yeah, that's, well, the
Right,
set,
otherwise you're looking for it.
Otherwise, you
If
have
they
to
don't
look at
know
another
look for it,
section.
They assume.
They
there is
assume
none.
they can put it anywhere. Oh, the
well,
only thing
we
about
could add to dimensional standards.
Right, that's what I mean.
And then put in setback for driveway, 25 feet, side yard.
And that's
But
from
what's
your
the
neighbor
objection, what's the
and from the
objection to
road.
having it
No, I
right
agree.
away? And then, okay,
It should be in more than one spot.
it should be in more
But I
than
don't
one
think
place.
it belongs in the definition. I don't know.
The setback is from the
If,
the
if
road
you open up
and
a, if
from-
you open up a
Because all of
dictionary,
those things need setback, so we can't put the setback under
Yeah,
every
that's,
single
that's,
definition.
that's the problem with this, is that it sounds good to add this stuff, but it could be just like this never-ending thing.
Yes, a restaurant, 25, how many foot back and how many.
Right, so that's the problem with adding this extra stuff, because
Okay.
it just could become unbelievably burdensome. And
More
then it
burdensome
would
than
just
what
be
we already
ridiculous.
okay,
That makes
I
sense.
take your point, yeah.
So the 25-foot setback, the road can't be started till you're beyond the 25 feet. It's not like the town road. People, when they talk about the town
Right away.
setback right away, it goes from the center of the road. See, people might, as he brought it up, might think that you're thinking to the center. You might want to explain it so the road starts 25 feet from the edge of the property. Just like the
I
town
hear-
road.
I hear what
talk
you're
about right
saying.
away, It's from the middle of the road, 25 feet.
Ah,
So that is,
And
I
it's
mean, that's
50
just,
feet overall.
that's just a road thing.
49 point.
That's just a road thing
Exactly.
that they do that.
What?
That from the center of the road.
So for
setback
driveway,
From the center of
Yeah.
the
You might want to say the road.
town.
So
line.
you've got it, so
Started.
you either have to do it, you either have to say that it's a 20-foot road with a 35-foot setback from the center of the road, or you have to say it's
Start the road
25 feet from
after
the
25
edge
feet.
of the road.
Right. From 25 feet from the boundary out, you
I-
start the road.
I'm in favor of edge to boundary. Because,
well,
finding the center of a dirt
Well,
road
that's
or
what Bert says all the
driveway.
time. He's like, all these things that you measure, he's like, where's the center of the road?
Exactly.
First of all, it moves all the time.
Exactly,
And if
it's
you widen
wider
the
in
road,
some
it
place,
changes.
right.
that's
So
right.
I would say you can't start the
25
road
feet.
until you're 25 feet from the edge of the
I
property.
think that is a better, clearer
Description,
description.
From edge of from property line?
right on,
Right.
makes sense.
The new road. What about the setback from the paved road or the dirt road?
Well, those are from the center.
They're
Yeah,
from the
Right,
center.
those are from the
Right.
center. 25 on each side, 49.5.
Yeah.
total.
This is driveway, right?
This is driveway.
So,
Minus 49.5.
And it would be the same, right, for a private road?
The setback would be the same.
the setback on the side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But do we want a width for the private road still though,
Doesn't
for the
matter,
passable vehicle?
doesn't matter, because they can't build it to the 25
But
feet.
the width of the actual. Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna basically, again, we go back to this, are we gonna require that somebody make a 20-foot road?
That's not that, I don't think that's that extraordinary.
I don't know, I'd have to go out and measure mine. I feel like 20
20
feet
feet's
is
pretty
wide, because
wide.
my garage door is 9 feet where I drive my car into. I mean, there's like this much space, at least, on both sides of my car.
I got a little dinky car.
That's true.
You
I
don't
know,
drive
but-
on roads
I know,
with,
but
they're
it's not
towing
a
up,
road.
you
It's
give
just
you
an
a trailer or
But
Listen,
it's
I-
not a road, it's a driveway.
not on
It's
a
someone's
private road
driveway.
is not, it's a road. Private road is a road.
So
So if you have cars, so you have 5 homes on the road,
Yeah,
what are you
no, I
gonna
hear
back up the whole way?
No, I hear you. So,
You gotta
but
be
so
able to go fast.
is the driveway also 20 feet wide?
I think it should be, but that's, if you are doing a private road, you should
But
have passable
what if I'm doing a
vehicles.
driveway to my house? I guarantee you, my
Do
driveway
whatever
is
you want.
nowhere near 20 feet
Why would-
wide.
It's
I
your own
guarantee you
personal thing.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not a private road, we're talking about private
It's
roads.
your, you got a driveway. She's talking roads.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Are
Bringing
we,
in,
we gonna have
modular homes. they gotta be
requirements?
Bring those in.
For driveways?
Yes.
No, I don't think we have to regulate driveway width.
I don't either. I mean, my
Okay.
driveway is
Setbacks,
probably.
yes, but not width.
10 feet.
Yeah, if that.
You can
Cares?
drive
You
through
can
them like
drive
to
over
make
your
it
lawn if you
garage,
want.
you're all set.
Yeah, you can
don't
park
have
on
to
your
have a
lawn.
drive- You don't have to have a drive. You drive
I mean,
over
you're
your lawn
assuming
wherever you
everyone
want.
has a car.
This is your
Maybe
house.
they have motorcycles
Or
Yeah.
a horse.
or a horse. Or they
Okay,
walk. I don't
so-
know.
Well, our
Okay.
trusted,
Can I ask
So-
a
Chairman
question?
is
Do
here.
you have your bylaws?
yeah,
Just go to any of the dimensional standards. I don't know why I'm feeling really stupid about this. Lisa, you can help too.
where are they?
Oh, they're any of the grids.
Start.
Why does Marta's, bylaws, why does her bylaws have like maps and mine don't have any maps?
That would
Yeah,
be the
mine
back.
don't- Mine
for-
don't have them either.
The back should, you should have,
No, I have no maps.
No, me either.
Oh,
There
here
you
we
go.
go.
Okay, down at the bottom where it
Page
says
10. for everybody.
minimum frontage on public or private street.
Minimum frontage on public or private street, yes. Yes.
150 feet across.
Mm-hmm.
By a right of way of at least 25 feet.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just read this. I'm going, why haven't I seen this before?
Where are you reading?
Page 10.
Any of the pages.
4.4, okay.
Down at the minimum,
Page 10.
what does that mean?
That's so funny
I have
because
no
you know what?
idea.
In my previous reading of this, I had flagged, pointed, and had the same question.
What does that mean? I get it, 150. So the lot has to be at least 150 feet, but what does that 25 feet mean? I should know.
You probably need a lawyer for that.
Do you think this has something to do?
With setbacks.
That's what I'm wondering.
Are you reading a state thing? or-
Well, that doesn't make any
No,
sense.
No.
Because if it was a setback, it would say setback.
Exactly, but what, by a right of way
And how are we defining right of way?
We didn't get to
of
that
at
yet.
least,
Oh, yeah. If you have a piece of property.
It's the landlocked issue.
Right, if you're selling land.
no,
you wanna
I,
sell land behind your land,
Right,
you
so,
have to give them 25-foot strip to get into that land or it's landlocked.
Gotcha.
so they have to have a 25 foot.
okay, that should be
Okay.
explained better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes, okay,
yeah, it catches you at
Yeah.
first going, what?
okay, I get it.
Do we need to change anything there then?
No, I get it now. I just, like I said, I read this all the time and I just looked at him like, wow, what's that mean?
Yeah, it allows you to sell the land behind you.
Yeah.
As long as you give them
25 feet.
Of
So
right of
we
way.
had that question earlier, how wide does a right of way have to be? Now there's our
There it is,
answer.
25 feet wide.
25 feet wide.
Okay, good. But
I have-
did
That doesn't
someone,
mean that-
someone previously noted that 150 feet is a smaller amount than what it used to be?
Used to be 200 up where I was.
Are there any lots that are
Smaller than 200?
smaller
I
than
don't think so.
200?
No.
There any lots?
You
Yeah,
could,
I mean, maybe in the village,
Yeah, probably the village.
but
not-
I think
Ah.
rural and residential. I don't
Okay.
think there's
Because
anything.
most of the lots sold on my road at the time they were developed was 200, so this is 40 years later.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
now somebody owns a 300-foot wide lot, they could split it up the middle, they got your 150
ooh,
feet. But
But so now-
272 would not make that, so that's why they go up the edge of the property and build off of it
So,
and stack them.
oh
so
boy.
I don't have my map, but since, do we ever talk about the actual zoning districts? And, you know, what they are now compared to what they were before? And do we want to make changes in the zoning districts? Do we want to add different districts?
Jim had talked about adding a village district.
Village
didn't we?
district.
I mean,
There's not a
we didn't
whole
see
lot
the
of difference between
point.
rural and
Res-
village.
See, I seem to remember years ago, I felt like there was a big difference between the forest district and,
We used to do
And-
conditional use.
and
Like
I
anything
feel
else.
like,
Mhm.
the forest district got really relaxed.
It did.
Yes.
It
But
got
why-
lumped in.
But why would you do that? The whole point of the forest district was to
Keep
protect,
it forward.
to protect the forest.
And
for
the
what it-
watershed.
Right, and for what it is.
I don't know why it changed.
All you get is a couple of people on a board, and they vote for it, it
Right,
goes through,
right.
that's all.
So let's change it back.
So, well,
Well,
I'm not
let's-
even saying that, but
But then you
I
have
think
to
we
we
should
need to
look at
review
it.
that.
But, and I think it's hard for us to sit here talking about setbacks when we really haven't actually looked at the big thing, the
The map.
the zoning districts and say, do we like these? Do we not like these?
Are you guys
know?
in rural or,
Rural.
okay,
About 1,000 feet back, it goes in the forest.
Oh,
That's where the other property run into a problem, because just past that dip, it goes in the forest.
Okay.
I mean, I just think I don't see how you can look at the zoning bylaws without really looking at the districts and saying, is this what we want? Is this not?
maybe we
is it
need to
what-
start
well,
there.
we're, right now, we're just, I mean, setbacks are going, I think are going to be universal, right?
I don't know, maybe the setbacks in the forest
They're
district
less,
or
aren't they?
in the rural district should be larger. I don't know, because you're trying, again,
Well, rural
Because-
and residential right now are almost identical.
Yeah,
See-
there's not much
Yeah.
difference,
and so that does not make any sense
No,
to
it
me.
doesn't.
but somebody
Something is,
changed them.
right, so something is not right, we just need to look at this.
Right.
Because
They're identical now.
if your goal, let's just say that the goal was to preserve the character of Stamford, then you want the zoning laws to have things in place so that you're not gonna have up there where he lives, do, 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 do.
Mhm,
A, it doesn't preserve the character of all the people who live there,
mhm.
and also, it's
Overshadowing,
creating all kinds of issues with
Water.
with the roads.
sewer, and the
road
roads.
maintenance.
Right, the roads.
Yes.
So,
So maybe one thing that we really need to focus on is restructuring. Here, I mean, here's the map.
well, at least looking at, let's just look at it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, because I haven't looked at it, but I just have this sense that a long time ago, the forest was this protected thing, and now it's not, for some
Because
reason.
somebody lacks all the bylaws. They used to be. Over the years, things have gotten lax.
Yeah,
That's
You
not
need a
how
copy
you
of
preserve
this?
anything.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't have that. No, the bylaws that you sent me do not have that.
You know, nobody wants to be extreme. But if you lax it too much, then you get
I-
violations.
yeah, that-
What
Exactly.
page was, sorry, that map? again?
This is the very back page.
Yeah, the very,
Back of
The very back page of this other version of the bylaws, which is the fatter.
so
It's
that,
just
oh, yeah,
right
that's-
before the
right.
flood. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I have a side question that, sorry, it's gonna take a little off topic, but these tables are identical mostly, except maximum building coverage for residential is 30%, and then for rural, it's 20%. Does anybody know why that is?
Oh, yeah, it shouldn't,
That just seems
Yes, thank you.
weird.
right, it does, because
I
they're
don't know
both
if that's an
2 acre,
oversight or,
they're both 2
yeah.
acre minimums.
did that just get looked over?
Hmm.
It's hard for me to tell on this
I
black and
don't
white
see the
copy
difference
what is
between
what.
residential.
Pam, I
rural,
have it in
and
color,
forest.
you wanna see it on my
Huh?
laptop?
It's like that, once it's hard. You might find two little things that are, and you think rule. Yeah. What was that?
Do you want it bigger?
Well, to your guys' point, like, why is Why is it 2 acres
Can you
for
screenshot
rural?
that and send that to me?
Which is the same as the village and the residential.
Because somebody changed it.
I mean,
Yeah, it worked for some.
it worked for somebody. Do we need to go back to
I would say so,
greater?
but then you have to also grandfather anybody that's done it during the change.
Okay, so they're grandfathered, but it just keeps
Right.
it from
I mean, it automatic.
getting worse and worse and worse. I mean,
It makes
shouldn't
no sense,
rural,
2 acres.
I mean,
I cut 2 acres
So-
of grass.
should,
let me just
me
say,
too.
let me just say that we might want to consider waiting until we get the surveys back before we start making changes. I'm
Okay.
just wondering if the surveys are going to
Tell us things.
tell us.
Okay, well, let's,
Do you have
why don't we
airdrop
put,
on?
what, oh, why don't we put for future topic, for future discussion on, 5 acres for rural districts, back to 5 acres for rural.
I think we need to look at the districts again. I think we need to review the districts in general, but I think Pam's right,
Here's-
maybe we wait
Oh,
until
do you
the
have it?
surveys
Is
come back.
yours an iPhone?
Yeah.
But I mean,
If
this
you
could be a
go
topic
right
for
here.
after the surveys come back.
Yes, yeah,
No.
So maybe I mean,
Not there.
review the districts.
yeah.
There. So this.
And by
So I'm gonna-
review the
I'm gonna put
districts.
what you meant, though.
Wait,
For
there's
example,
AirPlay.
No, you need.
No,
your-
Yeah.
AirDrop. Yep.
So for
But now
example,
what? How do I make it?
when
Forest is here.
forest is 5,
Everyone to-
10.
We need to look at all that.
Yeah, and I think it used to be 10.
Yeah,
It used
here
to
we
be
go.
10.
Yeah.
And when we say review the things, we don't have the capability to change what
You get it?
is what.
Where's it
Probably
gonna
went
be?
into
Is it gonna be my
photos.
photos?
Ah,
I think we could, like Jim wanted to add a
Yes,
village.
I
we
did
could
get
do
it.
that.
Thank you.
okay,
Oh, we can change the
What?
line.
okay. So that's another
Do you
thing.
have your
Well,
phone?
that's what you mean by review.
I didn't bring it up.
Review the-
I will-
The boundaries.
The boundaries
Also,
of the,
send
of
what you're
the,
talking about.
yeah.
I'll send
So
this to you.
also review the boundaries
that?
of
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
the zoning
It should be
districts.
in your, is it
I
not in
believe
your
that's in
bylaws?
No,
Okay.
And this does seem to indicate the
Oh, wait.
What's your, I should have your email address.
I wonder if
2009.
Actually, what is
BCRC
it?
has to do
oh,
that.
Aldi Finney, ALDY.
Oh, I always wondered if it was an I at the end or a
N-
Y.
FINN
Whether it's
EY.
male or
EY.
female.
All
Okay.
these are stored.
at Gmail.
Right.
I mean,
Gmail.
if you just look at this and you look at residential and you look at it being residential all along Main Road here,
Mhm.
but then you look at, for instance, let's look at,
Thank you.
Welcome.
Jet. And, you know, where Jen Hughes,
Yeah.
back, whatever that is.
Same urge. Where's that up
Um,
here?
You know, is that necessarily the same as along Main Road? I mean, it seems like along Main Road, along the highway, especially
And then the
down
offshoot
here in
roads.
the middle of town, doesn't necessarily want to be the same as these other places that are,
Well, my question, or Marta and I were talking about, is who draws these boundaries for the residential? The map says BCRC, so is this up to BCRC to draw the boundaries, or are we
I don't know. You mean as far as forest and everything? I
forest,
think it's,
residential? Is that a
I
town
mean,
thing?
I think we did, we did
The
that.
map does say BCRC on the bottom.
No, but maybe they just did
They
it.
just printed it up as
I
part of,
mean, again, the end of Sumner Hill Road, is the
Right.
end of
That's
Sumner
true.
Hill Road the same as
No.
right
No.
down here in the village? I mean, I would not say that those two things are, I mean, they have
Agreed.
a different feel,
Yeah,
they're a
yeah.
different thing, right?
agreed.
Like,
You're right,
it's
they
like
printed this one, you were right. Doing the town.
yours has a different feel, your area has a different feel.
What's complicating this town is 60% is federal. That's why
Right.
there's so much forest.
Right.
You're saying, well, where's the rural? It doesn't look like there's a lot of rural because it's mostly forest. 'cause
Right.
it's federal.
Right.
well, it's not all, like our property is, a lot of it is in the forest district.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
it's,
Good
because
portion.
60% of the town
Yeah.
is.
No, no, no. No, I'm not saying the Forest Service. Our property is in the forest district.
I'm here,
Should be
I'm
for
here,
the
there's
elevation.
Maltese,
Yeah.
I'm right there.
No,
Um,
that's the zone.
The zone.
Yeah.
I don't know how they determined the forest
This is-
district.
It says Old County here, but it
60 to anything over
attaches to
2,500
this, 'cause that's
feet.
very-
Yeah, but
So
my-
that was like here.
If you
The
look
road's-
where
road's not on
the
there.
forest starts on my property, it's not 2,500 feet.
Yeah, I know it.
So how did they
This is where we
determine?
need Kurt. I think that the planning board is the one who has been.
Do you want me to call?
But here's
Making
my
these.
Do you want
question.
me to call BCRC and ask?
How, there has to be, how did they determine that on my property, half is in the forest, and where is that line and why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
great question.
because when we were building, they tried to stop us. Oh, you guys are building in the forest.
No, you built on
Show
my deer
me.
run.
I said, well, show me the line.
Yeah,
There is none.
Yeah.
Like, there is no defining boundary because we're at 1790 elevation.
Like,
yeah.
We're not at 2,500. So I'm like,
yeah.
how did that make it into the forest
I
district?
think, like you said, it's the planning, because the only thing the state has done the 2,500 to preserve the scenic beauty, they wouldn't allow you to build
Right.
above.
No, I get
unless it was
that,
grandfathered.
But I'm wondering how they drew that line.
Right.
I mean,
I'm gonna call BCRC and ask.
Somebody must have drawn that.
And I mean, there's,
Well, that hill behind your house could be 25.
oh, that, actually, even to the top of that, I've walked it and I have my compass and everything with me. I look over on Ezra's, so I can get up to that elevation, and that's still not 2,500.
Really?
2,500.
Mine's
feet.
That's
19.
really, really high.
Mine's 1925.
Yeah, you're a little, you're,
Right, and
you're
and
100
you're
and some.
slightly
That's
uphill
rough.
from me,
yeah.
so it's,
Go up to
maybe
the homestead place,
2,000.
2,500.
Yeah, he's,
No.
I think he's 2,100.
sounds right.
Because
That's what
when
we
I get
always
up to that and I
considered
can look
it.
right
Across.
over,
Yeah.
it's, we're right at about
Mhm.
2,100.
Yeah.
all I
No
know
idea.
is that you have zones.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
one zone would be the zone where you would expect the densest housing. And then another zone would be a little less dense. And then another
Do we maybe
zone
need
would
a fourth
be
zone?
potentially.
Yeah.
There could be 5 zones, I don't know, but I look at this and I just look at, cause I know the terrain and I know, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this whole residential thing is just this giant area
Yeah.
and it's not all the same. And you would think that you would not want it to be the same, because if it was, eventually you're gonna lose the entire character, because
That's a really good point.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the zones are supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be controlling what type of development that you want in a certain area, and this does not do that. This
Right.
is just way too broad.
Which, as you pointed out, may have just happened because it was.
Well, I mean, you look at
Oh yeah, I looked at color map.
Maltese.
Yeah.
I mean, That's
That's insane.
rural.
Yeah, should be forest.
Yet mine down here, where our house
Yeah.
is right there, where the two brooks
Yeah.
converge. That's where forest starts, and that's so much. I don't know.
Yeah,
Doesn't make sense
you're
to
right.
me.
No, this is valid.
Yep.
This is valid.
So,
So, I mean, I really think that is the actual starting point, is looking at the
understand
zones
the
and
zones.
trying to figure out, does this match
Well,
what the
the
people
very
of
first
Stamford
starting point is me calling
want?
BCRC and asking if we have the ability to change.
Oh, hello,
Right.
Mr. Spider.
Well, how can we not?
It was a
Because
tick one day and it's a spider now.
I know.
we have,
Don't
I
hurt
mean,
spiders.
these are our zoning laws.
Put them over that way. I
BCRC
hate
doesn't
spiders.
tell us
That's what I mean.
what zoning
Just
we're
because
I
allowed
it
to
don't
says
have
care
or
how
not
small
allowed to
it
I
have.
don't understand enough about it, so I'm just gonna call them.
Are you a
Yeah,
phobic?
no, I hear you,
Yes.
Yes.
Marta's probably right, their name is probably down here
because
because
they help
provide.
the students.
I'm just gonna ask to get us, don't put it near me though.
Well, I'm not gonna squash him.
Put him
Let
on
the
the
poor
side.
thing outside.
Put him outside.
I'll
Like
squish
this
it.
one. I wonder if he's an indoor spider.
Are you sure he's not a tick?
No, that's not a tip.
Okay, good.
What if he's an indoor spider?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, he's hanging on.
I know he was hanging.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. that was-
Okay.
This is what you do.
All right, so I'll
That's
call
what I do.
BCRC. I feel like it's pushing 8 o'clock, so maybe we end it there.
So who is going to call?
I'll call BCRC
Okay.
just to clarify that we do have the capability of moving that boundaries on our own. You're gonna call Deb Chalmers about the wetlands. and-
Rebecca.
Sorry, that's what it says too. And make a sign for the jump. I'm gonna make a sign for the school, call BCRC with a few questions that we'd come up with.
And I'm going to check with Nick regarding the bylaw grant.
Okay,
So I need to send you that. Okay.
I wanna put all this work on you, Deb.
I don't mind.
And our next meeting is July 6th.
The thing that makes rural residential seem different is elevation.
Mm-hmm.
The faster you rise in elevation, the more rural it seems.
Yeah.
But if this whole valley was bigger and flatter,
Right,
we'd have a bigger residential.
it's true.
But
Because it's a small valley,
But
but
it's,
that's why it looks, pushed in with the rural.
but it's it's also just where you want, for instance, let's just say you had a whole area and it was a big aquifer, it was a big water source for the town. Well, certainly you're not gonna encourage 50 million houses in that place, right? You're
Right.
gonna try to zone it so that there's,
Yeah, protection.
much lower density
Mhm.
to protect the
Maybe
water.
Was that
That's
considered
when
in
you
this?
break it up in your zoning. If you had a house
Yeah.
like that, you could make a fifth zoning area.
Yeah, or 6.
Yeah,
Right.
It doesn't matter, I mean, there's probably, I don't know how many, there's gotta be 8 or 10 of them down in North Adams. It's all broken up into all different
That's
things
true.
based on,
R1, R2. Yeah.
we don't need all that, but this seems to be
Well,
not.
this is also another interesting question is there such a thing as a map that contains aquifers and watershed?
There is, and that,
In the wetlands, I don't think it's accurate.
so
I just looked today.
interestingly, in the and something that I came across recently, I just noticed that there's all this, watershed, water source up above the north end of East, like where Jen Hughes lives.
Yes.
That whole area in there is marked off as, water sources up there.
Yes.
And I feel like it's not on that map that I logged
Right.
into during that meeting.
It's not, because Roaring Brook is supposed to be a watershed for the town, and it's not. It's not on that
Yeah,
map.
the Stamford Planning was
See, that's not good
breaking
because
Yeah.
So I
Because-
think that if we're looking at all of this, that we really wanna know where the aquifer, again, there's
I'm
Clough
not sure
Road,
if
that whole
Stuff
Clough Road
originated
area,
in
where,
Greensboro or
south of where Deb's
Harborville.
house was.
Oh, no, it's Stamford Planning,
So,
straight up above.
We
Oh,
need
yeah,
to know
I
where the
know exactly
aquifers
where
are
it is.
and where the water sources
Well,
are.
absolutely.
And
Which
Which
one's
map are we
considered
on
a-
for that?
I don't know,
It should be on the
I-
wetlands map.
But it's not.
It is.
But it's not, right?
I'll find out.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Because the other thing about that is going back to the earlier part of this meeting. If they are going to try to say you have to build here, here, and here unless you have these reasons, protecting our water is a
Number
really
one.
good reason.
Protecting our water is got to
Key.
be one of the, literally
Yeah.
the top number
Yeah.
one
Agreed.
things. Because that,
Agreed.
the people of the town have got to have the benefit of that water.
Yeah.
Look what
forever.
happened to Reedsboro.
Yeah, it's
Exactly,
Water
yeah.
is becoming a global commodity.
And it's
that's where
only
it's
going to
going.
get,
No, how many times did you see on the North Adams chat? Is your water brown today? My water smells funny.
Okay, motion to adjourn? at-
Second.
What time is it? Really?
It's 8:01.
801.
Oh, did they fix the clock?
I guess so.
They did. I
motion
remember
to
that.
adjourn by,
It'll go fast again.
Lisa.
Got a lot of things talked about.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah, but we
Well,
didn't do anything.
I know we're kind of off